So a little note here before the video officially starts. You're going to see something very annoying in this video that I did not catch until after I'd already recorded it. And this is actually my second time making this video. So I decided to keep it in. I tried to put in notes where I could just to try to clarify on some things. But you'll see that my mouse is not actually in the video. So my many apologies for that. I bring it up a little bit later in the video towards the end as well, just to reinforce certain things. Just follow with me throughout the video as best as you can. What I try to make clear at certain points in the video are keyframes that you can add in by using the plus sign, and that you can subtract by using the subtract sign. And that's really the long and short of it. You'll see me try to make some, I'll try to describe what I'm doing using the mouse and all that, and I try to just clarify where I can. So just so you're aware, it's going to be a little jarring there, but I do try. So apologies again. Technical difficulties happen. Alright, let's get into the video. Hey everyone, welcome back to another BFME Worldbuilder tutorial, and as the title shows, I am going to show you how to use a very obscure feature, which is the camera animation feature. This does not get a whole lot of press for some reason. In fact, I am hard pressed to find a single tutorial, or video tutorial I should say, out there on YouTube or anywhere else. It just doesn't seem to be on anyone's radar. If you're not even too sure what this feature is, it's how you can make your own little BFME movies. So like what you'd see in the cinematics when you're playing the single player campaigns. It's a handy feature and a lot of fun. I've been messing around with it quite a bit lately for some things that I'm working on for the YouTube channel, and just to have fun with a feature that I'm surprised that no one really seems to use anymore. The Age of the Ring guys, they've used it on a few of their videos, and to great effect. I highly recommend that you go check that out. So anyways, that's what I'm going to be using here is the Age of the Ring mod world builder, but it works the exact same way as the vanilla games world builder for BFME2 and Rise of the Witch King. I don't know that the BFME1 world builder works the same. I've never used it, so just to play it safe, if you want to go by this tutorial, I would suggest just sticking with the vanilla games or Age of the Ring mod or the Adine mod, whatever you fancy here. Alright, so we're going to start with a couple of simple things. This is going to be a kind of basic tutorial for this camera system. If you're not even really familiar with World Builder to begin with, this tutorial is not for you. It already assumes that you have a working knowledge of World Builder, so I would suggest that you go and check out my own World Builder tutorials. I have a few videos from a few months back, and I show you all the basics on how to get it set up, how to use some of the functions, and some of the more advanced stuff like scripting and all that. So check it out before you hop into this one, is what I would recommend. Alright, so to access this this obscure little feature, and let me make sure that I'm still recording. Yes, alright. You go over to Edit, and you go down to Edit Camera Animations. We get a handy little preview window. You can enlarge this as you want, move it around, whatever. I prefer to just keep it simple and sweet down here. And we have our own camera animations options window. So it's going to look a little daunting at first. Don't let that dissuade you. What we're going to do to start off, we're going to go up here, and we're going to go down to Look at Animation. Alright. We're going to go to Look at Animation. Hit that. Now, that's what's going to be for you. Now, I've already been toying with this a little bit, so I've got some things in place, but I'm going to add a new one. Okay, so it's going to be just like what you do, just under a different name. Alright, now, for some reason, this likes to put it way, way up at the top. Whatever map you're on, it doesn't matter. You're going to see a camera icon and a purple box. And for some reason, it points directly up to the sky every single time, and it's way up there. So what we want, obviously, is to get it moved. But it's not as simple as just, you know, what it looks like. I mean, it does outwardly look that way, but it's not. So you can move it around, but you're not looking at anything, right? In order to get it started, like really get it started, you have to go down here to your timeline. Now, it doesn't have anything yet, so you have to input the number of frames that you think your video is going to have. It goes by frames, not seconds. So, let's just put in 400 frames in this box here. Hit enter. Boom, now we've got a timeline. 30 frames is about 1 second, just as a handy reference. I don't use it as a strict guide or anything. You can adjust it however you please, and I'll show you that as the video goes. But that is just a reference. Alright, and we're going to move this box down first and foremost. Because what I want to do, I want to... Now we can finally see the city in the preview pane there. I want to hover around this. Okay, so just give me a hot second here to get this thing rocking and rolling. Takes a second to get it way down there. Look how far up it is, my goodness. Alright, now we're there. Very good. Alright, so it's going to basically be in it. We can move it up and down and go back up to our camera, just right up here. And as you can see, because it's looking at that purple box, in case you didn't quite catch that. And no matter where you move this camera, it's going to hover around it. It's going to always be looking at that purple box. Alright. Now, to get this started, you got to know a thing or two about what's called keyframes. To get a keyframe, well, this is the default keyframe. This is for the camera, and this is for the purple box. Look at us for the box. So, we have this little tab down here. We move it over 1 frame. You'll see it says frame over here, and now we're at frame number 2. And you can manually do this up to whatever you want it to. Well, we're going to go to 2. And we're going to hit this plus icon. We're only going to be moving the camera. We're not going to be moving the look at or the purple box just yet. So we're going to have an additional keyframe right here for camera. Now we can start moving it. You always want to make sure that you are under that second keyframe, not the first. Otherwise it's not going to work right. Always go under that second keyframe to start your recording just right. Okay? You can move it however you want. You're going to see that red line appear. That's going to show you the path that you're on. Now you want a curved path, and it's going to be a curved one. But it shows it straight just because, well, that's how this specific camera animation function works. And you'll see a curved one later on when we go to the free animation, and you'll see it curve out on this as well as we get more. Now you don't want to have too much. You would think that you would be able to go all the way around, but if you try to do that, it would actually start going in a totally different direction. It would go this way instead of, let me rephrase that here. So what we're trying to do is we start over here, we're going to go around this way, right? But if you wanted to go up to here, it would start over here and then it would work its way around like that. So you only want to do it in segments. Don't want to do too much at one time. And that keyframe now, you can move it however many frames down you need it to. Alright? Let's say we want it to be 130 frames. and we're going to hit the play button. Easy. And then if you wanted to slow that down, you'd add a lot more frames. Go back. Now it's real slow. And obviously if you wanted to speed it up, you make fewer frames. Pretty easy. Alright, so let's go to the next segment. And you just keep doing that. You go up to your current keyframe, and you go over one. Nope. It's always a little hard for me to tell where I'm at. And you just keep stretching it. You keep stretching it however you want it. You can go up, down, wherever. We're going to go down in this case. We're still up really, really high, but I mean, it is what it is. Okay. Let's just go down, straight down. Because I want to get a little bit further, or a little bit closer there. Alright, so we got a decent enough segment here started. Now, if you follow the red line, you're going to see some really weird things going on. Don't be troubled by that. If you followed it all the way up, you'd see a big curve way up here. Alright, don't worry about that. That's only because it's one frame off from where you last had it. So just stretch it out and you'll see that red line go back to a more normal curvature. It's a little hard to see even for me. But you can see here that it is a more normal curved red line. So let's watch this here. I'm going to go back from the beginning. Okay. Now it's going to start going down our new segment here. Still rotating, still rotating. Alright. And you keep doing that however you need it to do. It's real simple, real straightforward. And even if you wanted it to be closer, it would keep rotating around and around it. And if you wanted to move your camera, always make sure that this little tab here is directly underneath your keyframe. Otherwise, it will not move. You can't select it. There we go, getting closer now. Now you got to be careful of doing that though. I do this all the time. You remember where we were just a second ago. Now watch. Okay? It's going to be totally different. It's where we just moved it to. You always have to make sure that wherever you want the new segment to go, you always have to have a frame right after your keyframe. Okay? Otherwise, you're going to be moving this camera around thinking that you've got some new segments being added, and it's just going to keep changing the original one that you just had. So just something to keep in mind. It's easy to forget. Alright, now, we're going to, by the way, to remove these, you just have to make sure you have the tab underneath that keyframe and you hit the minus sign. So, in order to move that box, that purple box, for even more crazy dynamics, go all the way back and you go up to the frame right after the first, hit the plus sign for add look at keyframe. Okay, for the look at keyframe, that's what you need, not the camera. And now we'll move that purple box wherever you want. We're going to say, put it right up here. We're going to have a bird's eye view here. It's going to be wild. Okay, do that. Let's just line it up with that other keyframe there for the camera and plate. It's going to be very different now. Yep, and it's going to keep rotating around that as we go further down instead of rotating around where we had it over here. So it really changes up the dynamics quite a bit when you add in that purple box. And it's pretty handy. Now, to see your animation in-game, you got to know how to do some scripting here. Again, if you need to know how to do all of that, I suggest that you take a look at my tutorials on scripting. But for right now, I am going to save this. Now, I have used a default map, as you can tell, from the game itself. If you want to know how to get default maps going, check out my tutorials. But I'm going to just save this. You can do this for your own custom maps as well. And you got to know how to do a few things. First, if you want to be able to see everything in your movie without the annoying fog of war adding a shadowy blob around everything, I can't remember if I showed you this in a tutorial before, but there is a script to reveal the whole world and get rid of that shadow. I've already done it, but I'm going to show you where to go. You go up to this spot, map, shroud or reveal the entire map permanently for player 1. You click on that, make sure it's on player 1. Unless you want other players added to it, and you can do that too. Excuse me. I'm suffering from a little bit of a cold right now. Alright, so that's one thing. But if you wanted to actually play your movie in the game, you have to add a script. So you go up here, new script, and then you go up to camera, move, let's see, move using camera animation, that's what it is. And we named ours Look at Animation 2. Okay? This is going to start your animation right off the get-go. Now, there's different scripting opportunities for starting at different points. If you have a single-player mission, whatever you want to do, there's all kinds of opportunities. Check out the tutorials if you don't know how to do all that stuff. But we're going to do this, but we're also going to make it clean so that way you're only looking at that, at the animation itself, and not like your HUD on your screen, like the Palantir and all the camera options, whatever is on the screen. So go back to scripts, go to interface, and UI hide. All right. And you can also do this with your mouse. Show you here real quick. Interface, input, and you can disable the mouse so that way you're not accidentally, clicking on things or hovering over things that show descriptions and all that. You can do that. I prefer not to. It just depends on what I'm doing. Because sometimes it wants to glitch on you. There's a way to make it to where you can have these things occur and also revert back to having your UI and your keyboard and mouse control after the movie is finished. But it's not always reliable. So if that happens, well, your camera animation finishes, but you're just stuck staring at your screen. So then you have to reboot the whole game. I don't want to have to do all that. So we're just going to stick with this. I can show you, though, real quick how you would get that going if you wanted to try it. Sometimes it works just fine. Other times it seems to be a little iffy. Okay. You need to do your conditions. Let me see here. If camera Camera movement finished. Okay. Then you go up to UI show. And you can also do the interface input and re-enable keyboard and mouse input. And that's how you do that. But like I said, I'm not going to do that because it doesn't always work right. So we're just going to keep it simple with just hiding the UI. Alright. Apply. Alright. Now I got the game pulled up already. Here we go. And we'll get it started. And our new animation will play right away. By the way, I have the graphics turned down a little bit just for a very smooth experience. You can do this just as well with the shadows and all that turned on. But this is one of the bigger maps, and it can get a little bit choppy. Look at that. It's a little weird, given that we didn't have the what you call it. Yeah, we didn't move that. Oh, you know what? We forgot. I forgot to turn the UI back on. Whoops. I knew something was a little weird there. But yeah, it's a little weird given that we had such a short animation and our little purple box was not in an ideal location. But you get the picture. So yeah, go back here. What I should have done was just show UI. Alright. That's not a big deal though. Delete. Turn that on. Alright. Excellent. Now, I'm going to show you how to use, so that's kind of the long and short of the look at animation, or look at animation there. You can manually do stuff with the look at point, the purple box, move it up and down however you want it to get it exact. Same with the camera options. It's pretty straightforward. Now, one thing though that I'm going to get into here in a minute is linear. But let's first go over to add. We're going to add free animation now. Okay, free animation 1 is what we're going to call this. You can name it whatever you want. And as you can see, the camera now does not have a purple box. It's not going to be referring to anything. It's just going to be the camera. And as always, it's way up in the heavens. Oh man, I just reset it. Try this again. Where did it go? I don't like that it just defaults it way up here. It's hard to find. Oh boy. Alright, well scratch that. We're going to add a new one. Free animation 2. Alright. And we're going to bring it way down, like always. And this would actually come in handy. Just go over here. Actually, even better, you can go down to like 500. And it's going to be way down there somewhere. Can keep going down. I'd like to go back over to where we were. Okay. It's very, very close, though. Alright. Now this is where it gets a little funny. You need to adjust your pitch. Now your pitch is automatically all the way at the bottom. But if you go back and like this, you can't, it just goes to the top. So what you got to do, adjust it to about that. This is how I like to do it. Adjust your roll. All right. Now we're in a little bit more of an even spot. And then your yaw. Yeah, that's a little bit better. There we go. All right. Now, with this is where it gets really, really fun. You can do all kinds of really dynamic stuff like, follow through the city and, just take all kinds of custom paths that you want. So what we're going to do, my plan is I'm going to go through these double gates. I'm going to cut up around, go up a bit, and look down into the arena, the gladiator arena. And to do this is basically the same idea as what we did before. You want to start with the number of frames. So we're going to go with 400 again. Okay. Now this time we don't have the purple box, the look at keyframe. And just like before, we start at keyframe number 2. Make that keyframe, and then we're going to guide it exactly where we want it to go. The great thing is that you can move this exactly how you want it to. It's going to follow that line. Okay. So it's a little tricky. Takes a little bit of time. And we want to adjust the yaw. Start looking at that gate, just like that. Maybe adjust the pitch a little bit too. Okay. You gotta have a, ooh, I think I might have moved something. Yeah, maybe not. It's alright. Even if I did, it's not a big deal right now. Oh. There are other ways to do this, by the way, with scripting. I'm not as familiar with those. I just really like using this specific feature, where you can actually follow a specific waypoint path that you create. And in this case, it might be a little bit easier in some ways, but it really restricts you in other ways. Alright, so we're going to adjust that yaw again. Get it to be more centered right there. Okay. Pitch. Get that pitch up. Alright. Now that's a good segment to start with. It's a pretty long one. Don't want it to go too much longer than that. Let's adjust our keyframe. Okay. Let's see about right there and see how it goes. That's a pretty good pace right there, I'd say. It's going right to that gate. So pretty good. Pretty good. And then we just keep on going. Keep trucking along. You eventually get it exactly where you need it. Adjust your pitch, your yaw, just like we've been doing. Alright, now we're looking directly into the gate. Alright. Maybe go down a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Boom, we wanted to go straight through. Here we go. Perfect. All right, that's good enough segment. Oh, you know what we just did? Yeah, that's that mistake, man. That's okay. Man, forgot to add that other keyframe. See, it's very, very easy to do. Very easy to do. Oh, I can't believe that just happened. That's alright. That's alright. We'll get there. So add that other keyframe. Hopefully that didn't just screw up my whole movie. No, actually just made it better. Wow. Look at that. It's straighter. Alright. Boom. Now we're on the right path. Oh. Well, that'd be alright. Go down a little bit. It's hard to do. It takes a bit of patience, but it's definitely worth it once you get a whole movie going. Just to see a great cinematic in BFME that you yourself made. Alright, now we're going to stretch it out. Okay. You can see that there is a curve here. Now, this might seem obvious, but it is not. I'm going to show you the difference between smooth and linear here in just a second. So let's test this. Oh man, I didn't get it straight. Whoops. So it's tricky to do. Okay, now from here on out, I'm going to use linear, and you're going to see that it's a little jarring. Instead of making the line curve right over here, you're going to see it's just going to be at a very stark angle. Sometimes you want that. In this case, I don't really want it, but just for demonstration purposes, I'll show you. So we're going to go and take our camera up. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. So that way you can see it a little bit more clearly. Oh, it's hard to see that red line. It is right here, though. Right here. Let's go back. All right. Now let's say you wanted to have that angle. Instead of curving up, it just stops and then goes up. Okay? Let's even move it back a little bit further so you get a better idea of what I mean. All right, we're going to move it. We're going to add some more frames here. You can add more frames as you please anytime you want. Okay, just like that. There we go. All right. All right, so it's not quite as readily apparent because I screwed something up. This is very tricky to do, folks. It's very tricky to do if you're not paying attention. See, it still says smooth. I thought that I had made it linear. What you got to do is you have to select it. It can sneak up on you. Okay? By the way, a helpful little tip, if you're unclear whether you've actually put your little tab icon directly underneath that keyframe. You can always tell if it is directly underneath it because it will only ever show a minus sign if it's directly underneath it. If it's off to the left or right, just even one frame, it'll only show a plus sign. All right, now let's do this right. So I've got it selected. So you can select it and deselect it as you please. Make sure it's selected and hit linear. All right. What I should have done was hit linear here, and I didn't. It was smooth, and I made this one linear. You have to make the one that you're coming from the linear one if you want it to be a linear angle, or linear curve, I should say. So let's just have it move forward this time. Oh, see, gotta make that keyframe. Okay, make sure that this is linear. Yep, okay. Yep, linear. Alright, now we're going to move it forward. Move it up a little too much. Okay. Very precise stuff. Gonna move it forward. Okay. Add some more. We're gonna go up to 1,000 frames now. Okay. Now, let's see it. Okay. Again, it's hard to see, but you can notice right here. It's a very sharp angle. The curve is like from here, and then it just goes to a complete right angle. Boom. Straight ahead, instead of curving in an elegant curve up. So that is linear. And if I wanted to go directly straight up, now it would be a much more clear right angle. Let's show you that real quick. Linear. Yep. And this time, I'm going to go straight up. Well, hold on. Where did the other one go? There we go. This is what I wanted. Add that keyframe. It is linear. Okay. Can't be too careful, folks. Alright, so this time we're going to go straight up. Okay. Now you can much more clearly see it. It is not a curve at all, and that's what you get from linear. Alright. Try to make that. Yep. And straight up. Okay, so that's obviously a little too slow. We're going to make it, I don't know, 1,300 frames now. Okay. Now, when you have to control the yaw and the pitch at a linear interpolation here, it gets a little funky. So let's say that you wanted to take this and have it look this way, all right? If you wanted it to look from this area and turn all the way over to this direction, okay, we're going to make it look a little past these towers, all right? You'll see what I mean in a second, that it gets a little funky. Yaw. See, I can't turn it the other way. I have to turn it this way. But, watch. Okay. Ooh. Okay, hold on. Gotta add that keyframe. Keep forgetting. Okay. Now, here we go. Okay. Let's just say you wanted to stay in place and just look around like that. You can see that now it's going the opposite direction. It's going counterclockwise instead of clockwise like what we wanted. You can't move it too far. So we got to delete that. If you ever find yourself in this position, you always have to just delete it. This is why you take it a little bit at a time. Don't want to get too far ahead of yourself. And then we're going to adjust it again. Yep, got to do it again. Okay. And get that yaw to where it doesn't turn quite as much. Let's have it turn about right there. Maybe a little bit further. Alright. And now, it'll work just right. There we go. And if you wanted it to keep turning all the way to look past these towers here, you just keep going and make it turn a little bit more. So you have to do it in a little smaller segments at a time. And you kind of get the picture with it. That's basically it in a nutshell. You know, takes a lot of patience, a lot of work, but in the end you have some really cool animations, and you can have all these animations saved. If there is a way to link them all together in it, you know, back to back to back, you'd have to do some serious scripting, but you could potentially do that pretty easily. It just take a lot of work. But yeah, so going back over here. Yep. And then you just change it on over to your new free animation or whatever name that you named it. And then it'll play at the beginning in this case, but you can always script it to play after a certain event occurs, not just at the beginning of the game. Alright, so I remembered to turn my my mouse on for this tiny segment here at the end. Many apologies to you guys for all of that. I mean, it's hard to keep track of some of this stuff, and as you can see from my recording here, it's pretty late where I'm at. So, anyways, what I'm trying to say right now is one thing that you do need to keep in mind when you do these videos is you have to make sure that when you get to the end of your video, you have your little tab here right below, or excuse me, no, you have to, I'm getting myself confused here. let's say that you wanted to end the video here, not at 1300 frames, but you wanted to end it right here at 1097 frames. And then you just type that in here. Otherwise, and hit enter. Always got to hit enter. Otherwise, what you're going to end up with is a video that will just stay still and won't do anything. Just like you see here, it'll just stop and we'll just keep on staying at that one specific freeze frame. So you don't want that, obviously. So yeah, keep in mind your keyframes. In case it was a little confusing earlier in the video, it's this little button here, and you can delete it by putting your tab underneath it and going to the minus sign here. And yeah, again, I apologize for some of that confusion earlier, gents. So let me know if you need any further help, or if I was still able to make myself a little clearer. Earlier in the video, I was trying to describe to you, we wanted to make the camera go this way, obviously, but doing it too far was making it go the other way, and little things like that. So anyways, hope this clears some things up. Another handy feature about the camera is that you can have it follow your units around. So if you wanted to get into a dramatic moment or something like that as you're leading your units around, you can do that. So we're going to turn off these scripts so that way they don't play. Alright, I have one set up here. If I can find it. There we go. So I've already got a unit down. Now, what you need to do again, if you need to know how to do all that with the units, go to other tutorials that I've got. So I've got the unit down. I got it named Mahood 1. Make sure it's at Team Player 1. And then you go back to the script. You want to go down to camera, follow, start following a specific unit. Have the unit follow your named unit here. Snap camera to object is going to be true. You click on that. True, false, true. And you want it to be kind of high. It seems like it would be ridiculously high with this, but actually this is maybe a little too close to them, so I'm going to name it to be about 250. And then we're going to get it going here. And this comes especially in handy if you've got waypoints set up, or let me see, waypoint paths, excuse me. Yeah, waypoint paths, where your units are all following a specific pathway through the terrain or whatever. Alright, now we're following these guys. So watch. Just click anywhere, and now I'm not doing anything. I can't even. So, well, I guess I can. I didn't know that I could do that. Excuse me. But yeah, so you can just move it around. I can't zoom in. I can't move anywhere else. I'm only ever following my units.
No journey is too hard for the Mahout.
So it's a pretty cool little feature, I gotta say. I like it. I like it a lot. And that's kind of the basics. Like I said before, there's some other scripting options that you can do. I don't really like using them too much, though, to be perfectly honest. I mean, there's lighting effects and stuff that you can use that are kind of cool. Make it a little bit brighter and fading in and out. Uh, if you're just wanting it to be for the game and just for the cinematics in game, that's all well and good. But if you want to make an actual movie out of it, um, then you can just do it in your own video processing software like Adobe, DaVinci, whatever. Um, but all kinds of different options here. And I can't pretend to know what each of these is all about. I mean, these are pretty straightforward and obvious, but some of these other ones I don't know quite enough about. I'm kind of a rookie when it comes to all of this. I just thought it'd be really fun to try to get up a camera tutorial since nobody else has done it. So, at least as far as I know, maybe if you know of one, you can direct me to it. I'd love to see what other people have done. But, yeah, you can see that some of these are very manual, what we've already been doing with those other controls. I think this might be the one that follows a specific waypoint path, but I can't be too sure about that. I've never used it. You can lock your camera to specific areas. Yeah, again, I don't really know how to use these too much, so I can't really give a tutorial on them. These seem to be a little bit more advanced, a little bit above my pay grade, if you will. So I'm pretty content, honestly, with the dynamics that you can use with how I've shown it to you. To be honest, I think that it can make some pretty impressive videos. And oh, and of course, you can even add in sounds. You can add in sound effects. If you're really into the scripting scene, you can always add in music. You can add in sound effects. Some of the unit voice lines, all that kind of stuff to make your cinematics. Now, I don't know how to record new audio to put into your files. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I just kind of draw from whatever's in the game already. So again, I can't really offer any advice on all of that. I just make really simple little things, which you'll see coming up in some of my World Builder series, which if you haven't checked out, or not World Builder, but my War of the Rings series. If you haven't checked that out, I highly recommend that you do if you're really into that game mode. Talk about something that really doesn't get a whole lot of press is War of the Ring mode. So yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell. I really like this, and I thought that you guys might enjoy this. Let me know. By the way, if you really want to examine some of the work that other people have done, whether the developers of the BFME vanilla games or Age of the Ring or Adine or whatever, in regards to using camera animations, sometimes there are pretty good examples to be found in the map files themselves. All you have to do is just open up a map and if there's been camera stuff that's been added, then you can actually find it already, just bringing up the edit, edit camera animations thing that we went through at the beginning of the video here. And then you can actually take a look at everything that they've done. Same with like World Builder itself. As a general tip, if you're a little confused on how to do certain things, well, you might actually be able to find your answer by looking at various maps. So good hunting on all of that. It's a lot of rich stuff, especially from the Age of the Ring guys. Let me know if you have any questions or comments or whatever. I'll try to help you out in as best a way as I know how. But I just don't know a whole lot about whatever else is out there other than one that I've showed you. So Hope this helps though, and I'd love to see any movies that anyone might have created. I'm hoping that maybe this will shed some light on a relatively forgotten feature in the BFME world. At least as far as I know, there's not really anyone out there that makes BFME movies. The only ones that I've ever seen are the Age of the Ring guys. They've made some amazing videos in the past for some of their map rollouts when they were teasing new maps back in the day for 8.0 when it was released, in the days leading up to it, or weeks leading up to it, I should say. There's a lot of that going on for that, and then even further back for the 5.0 release, there's an amazing video that they did. Maybe I can find it and share a link below in the comments section or description. Uh, it was all about when 5.0 was coming out, and I think it was the dwarves. They had this incredible cinematic of Thorin and company about to do battle with Azog, and I thought that was just so amazing that you could even do that. Sound effects, music, everything. It was just incredible. So I hope that I can find that again. I hope they didn't get rid of that, or if it's not lost or whatever. So, anyways, I'd love to see any videos that anyone out there might do. If you want to share them, share a link. And, I'd be happy to leave a comment and a like or whatever. And just, and have fun with it. I wish that people did this more often. I know it's a bit time consuming. A lot of people are more involved in the gaming side of things, as they should. But it's such a fun feature that you can make your own little movies. All right, so I've rambled on enough. Take care, folks. Bye.